Serving up something sweet, here is the Sports Scoop. Hello, listeners. Today we are going to be talking about how to get better endurance for running. So our first topic is, we have to know what endurance is. So what is endurance? Well, endurance is the ability to sustain a prolonged stressful effort or activity for long periods of time. So for running, that means being able to run longer and further. So how to build up endurance is a question that you may be wondering. So ways to build up endurance are track workouts. So you could run more 400s, which a 400 is a lap across the track, or you could overall do miles. Miles has helped me specifically because I am a cross country and a long distance track runner. So miles are my best friend, but for the average runner or the beginner, I recommend track workouts first. Building up endurance not only means track workouts or working out in the weight room, but it also means a clean, healthy diet. So that means high protein, high carbs. High protein in order to build muscle, and carbs for overall energy. And the very important thing that most people don't think is as important, but it really is sleep. Sleeping 8 to 9 hours. I would say 8 plus, but oversleeping is also a thing. But 8 to 9 hours is perfect. Rest days are also very essential because you could put in all this work and not have any rest days, and then that'll be damage on your body, and that could risk potential injury. Now we are going to be getting into weight room workouts that help build endurance. Now you may be thinking, how can weight room help with running? Well, weight room helps build muscle, helps build endurance, and helps build hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is basically a fancy word for building muscle. And building muscle can help your legs get bigger and stronger, so that could mean you have more force in the ground, which actually, for sprinters, they need to put at least 3 times their body weight into the ground. But the main workouts, which are called compound workouts, which means multiple body parts and multiple muscle groups work together for one workout, are bench, deadlift, and squats. Squats especially, because squats help build up the glutes and hamstrings and quads, which builds more explosive force. Deadlifts, they can be a back workout. Some people think they are, but really if you're doing it correctly, you can do it as a hamstring, or you could do something called a RDL, which is a Romanian deadlift. Romanian deadlift is basically the same as a deadlift, but instead of dropping your knees lower to the ground like a deadlift, you will just kind of bend over and stretch the hamstrings. And bench press is essential because it helps build your chest and arms, which you may be thinking, why do I need chest and arms for running? I thought that at first too, but you actually use your arms a lot more than you think when you run. Because whenever you run, your arms kind of help propel your legs forward because you use arm-leg motion. So if you're running, if your right arm goes up, your left arm's back, and then your left leg is up. So you do that all in one motion, and then you switch. Opposite leg, opposite arm. Now for the actual running workouts, I like to do 400s. 400s, it's honestly one of the hardest races because you have to run at high speeds, but you also have to hold that speed. And what do we call that? Endurance. This is what all ties back to endurance. So I'd like to run 12 400s at least 115 to 120 pace, which is very hard, but I do run cross country and track. I have been doing this since 8th grade, and I am currently a junior. But for beginning runners, I recommend at least 140 to 150. Make sure you're at least under 2 minutes if you're just starting out. And then I like to do 6 800s, which is 2 laps. That's what the 800 is. And 6 of them, 800 is also one of the hardest races, especially for distance, because you have to hold high speed. But imagine doing a 400, you have to do that twice. 2 400s basically, which I don't really like, but it helps out a lot. And then lastly, we have long runs. For me, personally, a long run is at least 2 miles and above, but the most miles I run for training is 6, because I run cross country, which is a 5K, and the 5K is 3 miles. And then for track, I run the 1 mile and the 800, which the 800 is half a mile, but long runs help out so much. I like to do 3 miles consistently. So like say Monday I do 3 miles, Wednesday I do another 3 miles. And then Friday, I'd like to end it off with 5, just to challenge myself and to see how much longer I could run after doing 3 miles. Thank you for listening, and that was your Sports Scoop hosted by Peter Liao.